Hey, my fellow English learner! Last time I talked about 4 different methods of learning English vocabulary I've tried. Learning by rote with translation, reading and listening to a bunch of stuff without actually memorizing words, using technology, namely a flashcard program called Anki, and writing down words but not reviewing them. You will find the link to part 1 in the description down below. Today I'm gonna continue talking about all learning strategies for studying English vocabulary I've ever tried. Let's dive in. Method number 5. Active recall, spaced repetition, plus a notebook. A few years ago, I watched an awesome video by Ali Abdaal. I liked his approach to studying so much that I tailored it to my English vocabulary needs. I took 19 most common IELTS topics like technology, education, work, etc. and put all of them in a table in Google Sheets. Then I took interesting articles on those topics and wrote down sentences and phrases with interesting words, created task questions for those words, and worked on them regularly. One studying session with active recall, one cell on the table with the date and color indicating how well I know the topic. Red, don't know. Green, can recall words in my sleep. Pros: active recall and spaced repetition. You're working on your active vocabulary. You only need a notebook and a pen. For me, it means full concentration. I often get distracted when I do something on my laptop or smartphone. Besides writing down words and their collocations from memory, I also wrote down sentences, paragraphs, and sometimes whole essays using the words. I often tested myself using my voice. Speaking and the spoken version of the same studying routine boosted my fluency. Cons: extremely time consuming. So much handwriting. I added some typing and copying pasting later though. Organizing all the papers and notebooks can be a huge pain in the neck. My verdict: when it came to improving active vocabulary, the method worked wonders for me. However, it was mind-blowingly time-consuming, so I'm only gonna use it in the future when I want to study for an English exam again. So pretty soon, I guess. Method number 6. Working on and discussing vocabulary with a speaking partner. With my current speaking partner, we're working on vocabulary from a TV show called Parks and Recreation. Before a meeting, we watch one episode of the show, then rewatch it and a couple more times, then write down words and expressions that are new to us, look them up in the dictionary, and then during our meeting we explain those words and expressions to each other and compare our notes. Pros: it's super fun. Some words just stick to your memory because they're from your favorite TV show. You're improving both passive and active vocabulary, as well as speaking fluency. You really need to understand a word before you can explain it to another person. Cons: it takes quite a lot of time and effort. Without reviewing the words regularly, there is a high chance of forgetting them soon. My verdict: very effective method if you're putting effort into using new vocabulary when you're talking to your speaking partner. Also, it's so much fun! Method number 7. Working on and discussing vocabulary in conversation groups as a host. This strategy is pretty similar to working with a speaking partner, but you have a group of people instead of one person. To host my meetings, I had to prepare study materials and be able to explain anything concerning new words I was working on. Pros: working on materials and exposing yourself to new vocabulary again and again, before and during the meeting. Active vocabulary: if you're using new words and explaining them to other people, it's fun. Cons: a lot of time and effort. When you're a host, you're not actually talking most of the time. You're there for your fellow learners. If you're not reviewing new words regularly, you have a chance of losing them. My verdict: It's not a bad method of expanding your active and passive vocabulary, but I wish I could return to those words more often. And working with a group of people can be so much fun. Method number 8, creating videos with stories using new words. I learned about this method from Hadar, an awesome American accent coach, in one of her Facebook groups. We were encouraged to overcome our shyness, take a few words in English that were new to us, implement them and incorporate them in a story, and then record telling the story and post it on Facebook. It felt super awkward speaking in front of the camera at first and posting it on Facebook, but I overcame my feelings and became quite comfortable at expressing myself in front of the camera, and I could look at myself without cringing much. Pros: active vocabulary. You're actively using new words to make them your own. You can be creative and have fun. Cons: it can be really challenging, especially if you're recording yourself speaking English for the first time. My verdict: worth trying. You don't have to record videos and post them anywhere, but a regular practice of 5-10 minutes a day of finding a few words that are new to you, incorporating them into a story, and then recording yourself on your phone is a great exercise that can improve your active vocabulary and fluency. Reviewing words from time to time is also a good idea. I will definitely continue using this method in the future. Let me know how you learn English vocabulary. There are no right or wrong ways of learning new words, and you should just try a bunch of them and see what works for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing for more awesome language content.